Loading Up Podcast. Game on. Perfect.
Welcome back to the Loading Up Podcast. I am your host, Producer J, along with my other co-host, Brother Zay. How you been, man?
What's up, man? I'm all right.
Nice. Before we get into all the stuff that we got going on this week, just want to remind you that if you're listening to us on a podcasting app, you can share us, you can rate us, and do all that nice stuff. If you're listening to us or watching us on YouTube, you can like, comment, and subscribe. So it'll definitely help us out. And if you look in the description, you can see that we have some sponsors. We have W Energy and NordVPN. You can save some money off of products and subscriptions. And trust me, they are worth it. It'll be beneficial to everybody involved, including us, including you, and including them. So we'll thank them. We'll thank you. And yeah, that'll be great. So, Brother Zay, tell me, what have you been playing this week?
Oh man, I've been jumping back and forth. I'm all over the place. I need to focus. But I've been
Sounds like me.
yeah. I tried out and played. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see me playing Quarantine Zone, the last check on PC,
Yes.
and surprisingly, a lot more fun than I thought it was gonna be.
Really?
I remember you mentioned how you tried it. You know, it was a deeper game than just checking people. You know, they added the whole helping. You're like an AC-130 almost helping people escape the zombies, and then you had the base building. So I was pleasantly surprised at like how in depth the game was. You know, I was like, okay, this is a lot bigger than I thought. I gotta sink some more time into that. So I've been enjoying that. I've been playing through some older games, so I've been because I've never played through Assassin's Creed Rogue, and Remastered is on the Game Pass, so I've been playing through that. I'm a bit of ways into that game, so I'm like more than halfway. I think I'm pushing going toward the end actually. So I've been upgrading my ship and trying to defeat all these damn pirates out there. And speaking of pirates, I've also been jumping in and out of Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza Hawaii. That game's a lot of fun. It's just over the top action. I've always liked the Yakuza games, like Yakuza, like the Kwamis and stuff. The Like a Dragon series, I never really got into like the first Like a Dragon game because it was turn based. But this one is not turn based at all. It's action based, so it's a lot of fun. It reminds me of it reminds me of Kwami, and Kwami is just a remake of one. So I've been playing that, and of course you'll sprinkle in Call of Duty. I was playing last night with my buddies, and of course playing Arc Raiders. I can't get out of Arc Raiders. So as you can see, I've been playing a ton, little bit here and there. Just dabbing in a little bit of everything.
Nice. Yeah, no, that's kind of how I felt this week. Like I feel like this week I can't really say I've played anything too much, like one individual game more than like a few times, because I've been playing a bunch of stuff around. I went back into Ball X Pit or Ball Pit or whatever.
Yeah.
I've also been playing a little bit of Quarantine Zone as well. Obviously Kingdom Hearts, I'm still working through that. Some Death Stranding. It's like little bit of here and there. Baldur's Gate 3, that's like the main constant one. But actually, it's funny that you mentioned Call of Duty, because I actually played it again for the first time in a long time. Oh, it feels like a long time. And I was like, why? Because I stopped playing when Black Ops 7 came out, and I was just like, I don't know, maybe it was just because I like was burnt out, but like I was just over it. So I went back in. Actually, I played it on my Rock Ally because I hadn't played a well, I guess technically I did play a first person shooter, but like a Call of Duty type game on it. And I wanted to kind of sort of test out how it felt to play on it, like an aggressive shooter game, because on my other ally that I had, it was okay, but like after a while, like my ring finger and my pinky, they would start to feel like kind of numb and
What the
tingly after
hell?
a while. But just because it's like that, like I grip whenever I'm playing a shooter or a high intensive game, I grip the controller like hard because like I'm getting into it. I want to focus. I want to have like all the control, whatever. But
Yeah.
the case that I had for it, it helped, but it didn't like have a good curvature for my fingers. So like after like maybe 45 minutes to an hour of playing, like it would start to feel weird, and I would have to like stretch out my fingers after a while just because like I didn't want it to get cramped up. So that's why I didn't really play like shooters on that a lot. So I tried it out on the Xbox Ally, and it feels so much better. It feels so natural. Like it feels like holding a controller. Like I mean, I've said it before when I got it, and it just feels good to hold, and I don't feel like my fingers are cramping up. Like I can actually hold the controller like I would normally for a shooter, and it's a lot more comfortable, and I really enjoy it. So maybe I'll get back into Call of Duty on my Ally like during my breaks and stuff like that. Um but yeah, no, I got in because I remember hearing about the Fallout stuff,
Yeah.
and um yeah, and I was starting to unlock stuff, and I didn't realize, and I know I should have known. I did it. I bought it. I still had Call of Duty points
Yeah.
from the because I bought the highest edition, what the Black Cell,
Yeah. Yeah. With the black
and
cell.
yeah, so it stood there. I didn't use any of this. So I have like 4,000 Call of Duty points,
Nice.
and I haven't bought anything, so I'm just like, okay, I guess I could buy stuff. And then I freaking find out the season's about to end, which I mean, naturally it would. So like, I'm like stressed. Like now I gotta freaking burn through the pass. I'm like halfway done, and then I stopped, and I'm just like, damn, am I gonna be able to? I mean, I know I can buy levels, but it's like, do I really want to burn through all my Call of Duty points just to level up? But I don't know. We'll see.
Only I guess if it's worth the like that last tier, you know.
I was looking at the rewards, and like
It just
some of them are just
you
like,
felt it, right? You're like, yeah, I don't wanna.
yeah, it's like it's not really worth it for all that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
maybe next season I'll see what they got, because I know they were trying to be more grounded, realistic with the skins and stuff like that. I know people are complaining about the realism, and it's like
Shit went
it's
out the window, bro.
yeah, it's like, why are you like, you know what you're getting into with Call of Duty? Like come on, it's
Yeah,
whatever.
it's
But that's
funny. It's funny that you mentioned though the your how you grip the controller hard and you know your hand was hurting. What's funny is that I do that, but not for like those intense games. In Call of Duty, I'm chilling. But give me Power Wash Simulator, my hands are cramping.
that's so strange. Are you like opposite?
It's complete opposite. I swear to God, I was literally be chilling on my couch and playing Power Wash Simulator, and my hand is hurting. But give me Battlefield or Call of Duty, I'm chilling. You know, I'm not
It's
gripping the controller
probably
hard. I don't know what it is.
No, it's probably because you're more used to playing those games than I am. So I gotta lock in when I play. You could just play like laying back and feet up,
Lay
go
back
freaking
and feel.
20-0.
No, 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 no. Don't gas me up.
But
Ah,
yeah, that's what I've been playing.
very good. That's very good.
Oh, I will
Most
say, and I did mention, because I or maybe I didn't mention. I don't know. I got a case for the Xbox Ally, the
oh,
D brand
nice.
case, and
Oh, okay. It's a good
yes,
brand.
it is a good brand, but they had one for the other Ally, but I never got it because I always thought it was too expensive. It's like $60. So like I was like, I don't want to spend that much on a case, but I got it as a gift, so I kind of, skirted that a little bit.
Oh,
But um but yeah, no, it that also helps with my grip, because even though like I grip it hard, like if my hands are sweaty, which they get sweaty a lot, even playing regular games, um it starts to like lose the grip and the traction or whatever. But the material that it's made of, it like counteracts it. So like even though my hand gets sweaty, I don't lose grip, and it still feels the same. It's really cool. I definitely recommend it if anybody's looking for an actual like nice case for it, because that was one thing too I was looking for, like over like the break that we had. I was looking for a good case for it because
did
I,
you
I
get
need a
any like
case.
style with it, like a customization, or was it just a black one?
It was just a black one. They had like stickers that you can get, but I wasn't gonna do the D-brand
Okay.
stickers. Like I like how it looks on the front. I don't want to change that.
Okay. I mean, I'm looking literally. That's why I asked. I'm looking on the website right now. I'm like, damn, these are freaking awesome.
Yeah, no, they got cool designs if you're into that stuff. But I like how it is regular, so that's why I was
Yeah.
like,
Oh, no,
it's all right.
it's a really awesome because it comes with that stand in the back too, the big
Yeah,
fan.
that also helps out a lot.
Yeah, that's dope. That's a good case.
Yeah, it's a really good case. It's definitely worth the money, I think.
No, definitely. Nice that you got it as a gift though, for sure.
Yes, that helps out a lot.
I guess we could jump right into some of the news. Now, last week we talked about how Kratos was cast in the live action version of God of War Ragnarok, and it was played by Ryan Hurst, if you don't remember. But this week we got a whole bunch of casting, and let me tell you, I'm gonna mess up some of these names.
Yeah.
So from now his most recent acting gig was from Severance on Apple TV. They casted Thor as Olfa Derry. He is the big dude in the season who was like the bodyguard, and he would be perfect for Thor. So that's a great casting. They also casted Sif to Sarah Palmer. They also casted Max Parker as Heimdall, and the legendary Mandy Patinkin as Odin. That's a great casting for Odin. I think it was perfect. And of course, the voice actor from Amir is going to play the live action version of himself in the movie, which I thought was really great. They have some really amazing cast. Like this cast for this show is absolutely stacked.
Yeah, no, I wasn't expecting it to go like, like this is a big budget show, so you would think that they would put their effort into like the casting and stuff like that, but I didn't think they were gonna go this hard. Like this is like a stellar lineup in terms of acting ability, and I'm glad that they were able to at least um not like stick to like what the games did, because the games, at least the 2018 sequel series, I guess you can call it
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are more like storytelling base, so you kind of have to match that energy, and I feel like they definitely did. I know some people were like a little bit disappointed that they didn't have some people reprising their roles, like the original actor for Odin. Like he's an actor, like they could have used him, but I mean maybe he just didn't want to do the role. Maybe there was probably scheduling conflicts. Like there's always a reason. Or and then even like Kratos, like we talked about, like why couldn't they have the original actor play Kratos? But it's like, yeah, he's good for the voice, but is it physically demanding? Like he has to do a lot of stuff more. And while he looks great physically, like you don't know how. I mean, he's up there in age, so it's like it's gonna be a little bit harder. So there's always a lot of caveats, but I think they're doing a great job with the casting. Hopefully they can keep it up, because I know there's a lot of other characters that they haven't even cast Atreus yet,
Yeah.
or oh shit, what's her name? Kratos' wife.
Oh,
Uh
I'm drawing a blank. I'm bad
I'm
with
drawing a
names.
blank too. Yeah, I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, there's crucial characters that they need to cast, and I'm sure we'll get those soon. But
Yeah.
um, it is interesting though that they're casting people. Like I know this is a TV show, and obviously it's gonna be different, but they're casting based off of like the Ragnarok story. So like I don't know if they're gonna like kind of speed run through things, or maybe they're just casting like the whole series right now. But they usually don't do that for TV shows. So I don't know. It's very weird, and I'm very curious in what story they're actually gonna tell, because casting like Heimdall and Odin, who we don't even see in the first game, it's just like it's a little weird. But we'll see.
Yeah. Well, we're definitely going to find out who's going to play all the rest of the characters probably very soon. This is, I feel like from week to week we're getting like at least 5 or 6 people casted, so we'll
Right.
keep an eye on that, and I look forward to seeing it. It looks like it's going to be fantastic, whether they speed run it or not.
Yeah, I mean, it could just be like a 2-season thing. You know,
Yeah.
like I know a lot of these shows tend to be doing that these days. I'm not a fan of it, but it is what it is.
Well, it's better than One Piece. They're one season with 1,000 episodes.
Yeah, true.
Let's continue on though. We have some Square Enix news right from Final Fantasy VII just finished launching on the Switch and the Xbox, the remake, and we got already news that the Rebirth, the second part to the video game, will be coming out later this year on both Switch and Xbox. They said fall, and it will be coming out fall on the Switch 2 version will be coming out in the fall, and the Switch 2 and the Xbox version will be coming out together. So we presume that everything will be coming out this fall for both. Now, part 3 is what everybody's been talking about and wondering about, because part 3 hasn't even released yet on PlayStation. So people know that there is a port. Square Enix knows that there's an Xbox port, but we don't know when it will arrive. I hope that they release everything all together instead of delaying it so long like they did with the other 2 parts. Especially that now that we see that the numbers for Final Fantasy VII Remake have been doing very well, both on Switch and Xbox. I think on Xbox it was like the 4th best-selling game, and on Switch it's sold out everywhere. So we finally get confirmation about Rebirth and some port news from the final part of Final Fantasy VII Remake.
It's good that Square Enix is like doubling down on this stuff.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times developers seem to shy away from acknowledging that they are porting to other consoles, especially like after they've been exclusive for PlayStation or whatever. Like they always do like the shadow drop, like, oh, it's on Xbox now, oh, it's on Switch now, and like they do no, like, I guess not fanfare, but like they do no announcement, they do no advertising or anything like that. It's just a shadow drop. And while that's fine for like the fans of the series, like if you want to push the franchise on that platform, if you want to make Xbox, and I guess maybe Switch is a little bit easier to do because it already has a fan base, but like particularly on Xbox, if you want to push that platform as a viable platform for your franchise, you got to put all the effort into advertising it, because when you just put out a game and don't advertise it, nobody's going to buy it. Like, we got to stop thinking that Twitter is the end all be all for like advertising, and they got to get out in front of it and tell, hey, we're releasing everywhere. You can buy whatever platform you want, whatever platform you have, will be there. And I think this is a good move because for so long, like that, Final Fantasy has been treated like a de facto PlayStation exclusive or PlayStation franchise, not even just an exclusive. Like people seriously think that like Sony owns Final Fantasy, and that's crazy. So,
I mean, if you want to be technical, Xbox is literally the only place where you could play every single Final Fantasy.
yes.
So
Which
not
is
even
weird.
on PlayStation. Yes, exactly. It's weird. It is absolutely weird. But not even on PlayStation can you get that. But on Xbox you can. So what are you gonna do with the loud minority of fanboys on Twitter?
Yeah. But again,
Nah.
I think that this is good on Square Enix for advertising their game properly.
Yeah, definitely. All right,
And it's basically setting up expectations. Sorry, I was just like, because
no,
it's
you're
one thing to
good.
just release one game. You got to say, okay, we're releasing every game. Like, we're doing it.
Yeah, no, it's really good that they're gonna do this. Obviously, they're seeing a ton of traction, both on Xbox, especially on the Switch. It was sold out everywhere. Physical editions everywhere were sold out. So they're seeing a ton of traction, and that just brings more money for them to, again, release more games on every platform. You know, why would you limit yourself? You know,
Yeah.
why would they want to not make money? That's the whole point of these companies. They're making games to make money. Sure, they like making games and it's all fine and dandy, but they do it for money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the best way to make more money. Release more places.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we also have some news out of PlayStation. Well, more like rumors. A lot of rumors surrounding the next PlayStation 6. They're saying that they want to extend the PlayStation 5 life cycle because of the increased RAM costs and other PC parts due to the AI data centers being built around the world. And the rumor is they will delay the PlayStation 6 release. And I mean, it makes sense because of how everything's been going on with the AI data centers and the increased prices for RAM. I mean, the prices for RAM are absolutely insane. We all know there's not I think there's like maybe 3 or 4 companies that make them all, and it's right now everybody's fighting for them. Everybody's fighting for these companies to give them more RAM for not just AI, but just for their products as well. So it doesn't come too much of a surprise to me that they will delay a whole nother console.
Yeah, I think, like you said, this shouldn't be a surprise. Obviously, like you said, with the RAM price increases, and who knows what else is going to increase over time. Um, it's becoming increasingly difficult to um predict what the landscape of gaming will be come 2027, which was the rumored release for the next gen consoles. Um and I think Sony is they're I don't want to say they're overly cautious, but among the I guess the big 3, which is Xbox, Nintendo, and PlayStation tends to be the most risk avertant. Is that the right way to say that? Um, where
Okay.
they don't do well. Maybe Nintendo. I don't know. It's kind of like a toss up between Sony and Nintendo, where they tend not to do what's gonna rock the boat the least. So, they or the most, I should say. So it would make sense if PlayStation would see fit to delay their console in order to maximize the amount of money they can make on PS5 for another year. But that comes with a lot of I guess sacrifices, because we know that Sony forecasts their like financials years in advance. So if they delay a console, that they're banking on that to make at least some of the revenue for that year. Obviously the majority will be still software, because that's usually how it goes. But if they're missing a big chunk of hardware sales, which we've already seen in the past that hardware sales are down like across the board. Obviously more so on Xbox, but PlayStation has seen a drop in console sales. Switch 2 surprisingly saw a dip in console sales. Not by much, but it's still a dip. And that does affect companies' bottom line. So imagine if you're expecting a certain amount of hardware sales from a new console. They usually sell like let's say within the first year, they sell like maybe 20 million, 30 million. I mean, maybe I'm exaggerating,
Yeah,
but
that
it's
sounds like a lot.
yeah, all right, maybe like closer to like 10, 15. But within the first year, they sell a lot. Um so if they're expecting that and they just decide, nah, we're just gonna push it back, that's gonna cause a lot of ripple effect, including like shareholders expecting that money still. Because just because if Sony decides to delay the console, that doesn't mean shareholders are gonna be like, oh, you're right, we understand. No, they're gonna want that money regardless. So I think what I've been saying like online and stuff like that in conversations, that if Sony does decide to delay the PS6, then I fully expect that they're going to make that money somehow, some way. And the only realistic way to do that is to port their games everywhere else. So I do think that if they delay this PS6, we're going to see more PlayStation ports on Xbox, on Switch too, because that's the only way they can get extra revenue that they weren't going to get before. And maybe it won't match what a new console would make, but it'll fill that gap and make the losses less. So I fully expect that to happen. I do think the precedent has already been set. So we'll probably see a lot of PlayStation tentpole titles, possibly like big ones like Uncharted, maybe Last of Us, God of War, make their way to other platforms. Just so that way Sony can make the money that the shareholders will demand in absence of a PlayStation 6. And I think people got to get real honest with themselves about that, because Sony's not going to just take the loss of a missing console in a fiscal year. So, who knows? Maybe once GTA comes out, things will change. Maybe console sales will like spike, which they most likely will.
Yeah, they'll
Um,
spike, but long term,
yeah, long term it's not gonna be that much of a big difference. But who knows? I'm fully expecting that to happen. But we'll see. I mean, nobody knows the future, and this is still just a rumor, but it seems very plausible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it seems plausible even for Sony to bring their games over to all the platforms, just make more money. That's it. Imagine if they just bring God of War series and Spider-Man. Just bring those two, they'll make a ton of cash, or no problem.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Yeah,
But
it's pretty much like printing money. And even
yeah.
Shuei Yoshida he talked I mean, he doesn't work for Sony anymore, but before that, like he was doing interviews and he was saying that even the PC ports, and granted the PC ports don't even sell like that. They sell like maybe 2 or 3 million on PC by themselves. And he said that it's basically printing money. So
Yeah.
if 2 or 3 million is enough to satiate Sony, then like why wouldn't they try that again? Like why not do that on Xbox? You can easily make 2 or 3 million on Xbox with the God of War or like you said Spider-Man. I didn't even think of Spider-Man, but that's like a no-brainer. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely too much cash being left on the table. Let's get into High Guard. All right, there's a lot of hate going around online for High Guard. High Guard was the game that was the last game showed at the Game Awards that Jeff Keighley was toting that how he really loved it, he really liked it. I do feel like the game online has been getting a lot of hate, maybe unnecessary,
Right.
but I'm not sure. I actually tried out High Guard. I played a few rounds with brother Matt, and I played a few rounds by myself with other people. Um, I I think they have like a lot of different aspects from other games just mashed into one. It's like if Apex, League of Legends, and CS:GO had a baby. It's a weird combination, and
Yeah.
I think the gunplay is okay, but the guns don't feel right when you're shooting at people. I think there's a lot of work to be done with this game. I think it may have benefited if it went into beta before just fully releasing.
Mhm.
They could have at least heard some feedback. They have heard feedback since its release. They did update it, so the maps are really big, and it's only 3v3 in the game. They did since then update to 5v5. So they are listening to people who are playing the game and who have constructive criticism, not just the haters just to hate.
Yeah.
Because even on Steam, it's mostly negative reviews. A lot of people just hating on it and mentioning Jeff in and the showcase. So it could just be a lot of hate that's unnecessary and not from people who actually played the game, not real constructive criticism. The game
Yeah.
has good bones, but I don't see a direction. I don't see how this game can last when there are other games that come out like Arc Raiders came out of nowhere and it built up an immense amount of hype. And even Battlefield, like they all had betas that people loved and sort of helped the game succeed. I feel like Highguard could have did that. They could have did a beta, fix some stuff, and then when it was released, have like a final version, and then maybe it would have been better received in the gaming community. But right now, the gaming community has taken Highguard and dropped it to low guard. It is terrible out there.
Uh, yeah, no, it's really confusing about this whole game, like, because we found out that Jeff Keighley, like, he personally wanted that game
Yeah.
to end the show on the Game Awards. So it wasn't a case of like, oh, they just paid to have the thing. Like, no, it was all Jeff. So that kind of speaks bad on Jeff that he kind of put unnecessary attention on this game that probably would have. I mean, we don't know. Maybe it would have done okay, but on its own. But now it's getting extra scrutiny because it had the biggest platform in ending the show, which normally is reserved for like bigger games, and people were complaining about it. So now people already have this negative association with the game, and now it's like it's just okay. So it's like I don't know. I feel like he did a disservice to them. And that's probably why they went like radio silent afterwards, because they realized that it's like, okay, we got too much attention now. We kind of got to lay low and hopefully people forget. But you know how the internet works. Nobody forgets. The internet does not forget. So I think it is unfair that people are kind of like dogging on this game for no reason. Like it really doesn't deserve the amount of hate that it's getting. I'm from what I've heard, I haven't played it, but from what I've heard and what you said, like it just seems like it's all right. It's an okay
Yeah.
game if you're into that type of game. It's not gonna freaking change the world like Jeff Keighley said, but
You know
but
what?
that was probably what it was. That he set expectations way too high, and now people are just like, "This is it." But I don't know.
Let me tell you something. I like to dunk on Jeff Keighley. He's one of those guys that in the game community
He's easy
it's
for
just fun
fun.
to dunk on. You know what I'm saying? It really is. It really is. That's me. I like to dunk on him. I don't know why, but I gotta you gotta remember he's just he's just a gamer that has a lot of money and a lot of pull and he's putting on these shows. He's just like me and you. He's a gamer and he liked the game, and we shouldn't fault him or the developers of Highguard for what happened. He really thought that this was good because he played it, so like, yeah, I could dunk on Jeff all day, but at the same time, he's just a dude who likes to play video games. He likes to have fun. And if he had fun playing the game, you know what? He had fun and then he wanted to showcase it. I don't I don't think it's right in this instance for me to dunk on Jeff Keighley. In other instances I will.
Yeah.
But this one it's like, he's just a gamer who enjoys games and I get it. It's fun to dunk on Keighley, but like also like so many people helped create this game and now they're feeling those effects of people dunking on Jeff Keighley. And for the longest Jeff Keighley has taken it on the chin and even made fun of himself right back. He's been a really great sport in it, because like it's like, what are you gonna do? You can't stop people from doing that to you, but he's really taken it and just went with it and made it funny. Like all the jokes he was talking about himself during the Game Awards, I thought they were hilarious. I was like, yeah, that's the way to do it. Just take it on the chin and keep it going. But this one, it's like, it's more lives at stake here than just Jeff Keighley's ego. We have the developers of Highguard who they had no idea what they were jumping into,
Yeah.
and it sucks. I don't want to see the downfall of High Guard. I had some strong words. I was like, oh, this game sucks. It's so slow. The maps are huge. It's only 3v3. I do have a lot of criticism of High Guard, but that doesn't mean that I want to completely fail.
Yeah. I think it what this means is not necessarily it's not a bad look on the game. It's more of just a bad look on Jeff Keighley's um I guess management. I don't know how to describe it, but like he let his gaming fandom get in the way of what like up to put on a good show. Cause like we talked about that what was it called? That indie showcase that they just happened this year. It was like brand new. Um but it was like creator led and stuff like that. We were talking about how yeah, it was an okay show, but the creators made it more about themselves and not really about the games, and it kind of like took away from the games itself. So stuff like that, and I feel like this was kind of just I'll say it's mostly just a mistake on Jeff's part. I don't think he intentionally meant to like harm this game or bring negative attention to it, but I think because he's a fan of it, he probably thought, "Oh, like a lot of people got to see this game because I love it." That's not always the case. There's a lot of games that some people like and some people hate. There's people who like I love Baldur's Gate 3 and we love Baldur's Gate 3. Most people love Baldur's Gate 3, but there's people who
Yeah.
absolutely hate it. They cannot get into it. They don't like the style. They don't like turn-based whatever. There was people who were saying that Divinity that trailer it was like it was whack. Like it was, oh, that's it? Like it was just a Larian game? Oh, come on. Like not everybody likes the same thing. So I think it was just Jeff not really reading the room in terms of like what people were asking for. Maybe if it again, I feel we had this conversation before when it aired. If it was shown earlier in the show and all he had to do was just like say this is a personal favorite of mine and basically do what he did. But earlier in the show, it would have been totally fine and nobody would have gave a shit. But the fact that it ended the show was what got people riled up and caused the backlash that happened. It's not warranted, but that's what happened. So I
Yeah.
do think High Guard has its audience. I do think there's still like a path for them to, you know, become successful later on if they stay the course, they, you know, listen to feedback, all that stuff. Then they'll find their way. But I think Jeff just made a big miscalculation with this one.
Yeah, I mean it's all
'Cause
right. It's it's these things are gonna happen, especially within this community. They're very loud minorities, and who
yes.
will push people to feel a certain way. So
Yeah, and that's another thing too, like, and that's what I meant, like, you have to kinda take that all into account. Like, like, do you think people are gonna react, like, soundly to a game like this? Just because you're a fan of it doesn't mean everybody's gonna be a fan of it. So, like, is it worth putting them in this spotlight now? So, it's just a lot of stuff that happened. But
yeah.
either way, I think High Guard will, if they stay the course and don't pull a Concord, don't shut down a week later. I think there's a way for it to still be something that people can enjoy.
Yeah. Oh man, let's move on because this one's a doozy. This is sort of gamer related. This week, a new batch of Epstein files were released by the Department of Justice, and this one has to do with Jeffrey Epstein's uh, permanent ban of Xbox Live by Microsoft. So it was an email, from Jeffrey Epstein's email, December 19th. It was March of 2013. He received the email and an Xbox Live notification of enforcement barred from Xbox Live. Basically means Epstein's account would have been unable to play games online via Xbox consoles completely forever. And the email read was his Xbox Live account privileges have been permanently suspended for reasons of harassment, threats, or abuse of other players, determined to be severe, repeated, or excessive. So, yeah, apparently it was all in accordance with the New York State Attorney General's office, where they have a partnership with Microsoft to ban um, sex offenders from playing Xbox Live.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that. Um, yeah, and a lot of people tend to not take the and then this is not just Xbox. This is PlayStation and Nintendo. I think recently Xbox put out it was like a blog post or Xbox Wire, whatever they call it. Um Basically reiterating their commitment to making online safe for kids and stuff like that, which is it's very admirable. And they posted about like that they're working with Sony and Nintendo to make sure that it still remains safe. And that's something big that not a lot of people pay attention to. But yeah, when this came out, it was just so odd. I was like, I remember the way I found out about it was Xbox community manager Josh Stein. He posted a picture where it's like the meme where it's a guy looking at a newspaper and then he looks at the camera and he's just like confused. and 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 I was like, "What is this about?" And then I see all the comments was just like, "Well, I didn't expect to see that today, but kudos to Xbox." And it's just like, "What the hell?" And then I looked it up, and naturally, freaking, well, not naturally, surprisingly, it was freaking Jeffrey Epstein related. I'm just like, how the hell does like this stuff tie to Xbox? But that's that's the news cycle these days, right? Everything connects to back to Epstein and Trump somehow.
That is a whole different podcast, though.
That is a yes, that's a whole podcast. That's why we're sticking to, like, the gaming related stuff because we could go on. But,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's just so weird that, like, this stuff still has ties to other stuff. We just need to get out of this. Like, I'm sick and tired of this freaking news cycle. Oh, man.
Yeah, it's been a doozy. But we'll leave it at just that, and we'll continue on. This time with some news from the developers Ad Hoc Studios, the developer of the game Dispatch. It was recently released on Nintendo Switch, originally for the PC and PlayStation in October of last year, but Nintendo Switch got a port for Dispatch, and they are the developers had to come out and sort of give an apology. They state that they're truly sorry for how the state of Dispatch was censored on the Nintendo Switch. Now, Dispatch, I don't know if you know, but it has some adult themes, including alcohol, drugs, sex, and violence and gore in it. They censored a lot of all of that, which is all part of the game. Like it's an adult related game, and they censored a ton of stuff. So Ad Hoc Studios had to release an apology, and they're looking to partner with Nintendo to try and see how they can fix it for the customers who actually did purchase Dispatch on the Nintendo Switch too.
Yeah, this whole thing it's so weird because I remember not long ago when Devil May Cry 5 came out, it was censored on PlayStation, but not on the Switch. Or is it even on Switch? Or maybe it's not on the Switch, but it was censored on PlayStation. And it's just it's so odd because like there's so many games that have adult themes and stuff like this on the Switch that it's like why this? Like why is freaking Cyberpunk able to be fine, but this is not? Like I really don't understand what the like what's the purpose of this? Maybe it's like a Japanese thing. I don't know exactly, but it's just I don't know. Like
I
and
mean,
then
they
there was
didn't.
a
they
Go
didn't
ahead.
even censor the Witcher 3 or like you said, Cyberpunk, but this gets censored. Now, is it because it's animated? Like it looks like a cartoon, maybe like an anime versus the other like Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk. I'm not sure. It just seems odd that they would censor Dispatch over other games.
Yeah, this seems very isolated for no real reason, and I think it's weird mostly because I remember there was like a controversy that what nobody was really talking about. I remember hearing it or seeing it on like TikTok videos and stuff like that. That um, there was a bunch of like hentai games on the Switch eShop that they were just there, full frontal nudity, all that stuff, and it was just there, and Nintendo was not doing anything about it. You could buy it, and yeah, they were like mature rated and all that stuff, but it's like, what is going on with Nintendo? Like, I don't know. This feels very strange. Maybe it's because, but no, but like you said, Cyberpunk. I was gonna say maybe it's because Dispatch is like a higher profile game, but if Cyberpunk and Witcher 3 are not censored, then why is this? I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know.
weird.
Feels like I said, it feels strangely isolated, and I can't wrap my head around why.
So let me ask you, what were the name of those games? No, I'm just kidding.
Just so you could avoid them.
I need to avoid them. I need to avoid them right now.
No, I think they had like a massive purge recently.
No,
Well,
I
not
know.
recently, but at one point. So like I don't think they're there anymore. But at one point they were like flooded. It was similar to like how Steam was. Like Steam had that issue once upon a time. So yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know what the rating policy and the censorship policy in regards to Nintendo is, but it's very strange and very like incoherent and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll just have to keep an eye, see if they're gonna update the game and to let's say its original state. I mean, the game is fantastic. I played and beat it. It's an awesome game, and I don't think if you're buying it on the Switch, it should not be censored. You know, you're obviously buying it because you're an adult who wants to play the game. You know.
Yeah, it's a mature rated game. Like
Yeah.
kids aren't gonna be able to. They shouldn't be able to buy it. So if that's the concern, then it's like then that's more of an indictment on Nintendo's ability to prevent sales to minors. But that's on them. It's not on the developer.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so the last bit of news we have is from Rockstar. Grand Theft Auto 6 may not have a physical version on day one to avoid leaks. This is coming from a Polish website, ppe.pl, who has an insider who correctly leaked Oblivion release dates for Oblivion Remastered, the Switch 2 ports of Sonic Racing, and PS5 ports of Microsoft Flight Simulator. So he has a track record that's actually really good. And according to him, they do not want to release the physical copy of the game so that way people don't get their hands on it early and leak out or spoil anything from the story early on. And I can see that happening. That's been several games in the past that we mentioned earlier when we were talking off before the show that Baldur's Gate did a physical release delay. So, you know, it's not unheard of. And I kind of think like that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think like you said, it's not unheard of. And obviously, Baldur's Gate 3 was a different scenario. Like, it was
Yeah.
more of a financial thing. Like, they couldn't afford at the time to see or to make physical copies. But then, obviously, you could pre-order it and then it'll come later and stuff like that. So, um, I think this may be just an issue of like they said, maybe it's an issue of leaks. But I don't. It's already been leaked. Like, how many times has this game been leaked already? So it's like, what are they trying to prevent at this point that hasn't been already given away? So I don't know if this is legit. I mean the source has a track record, so maybe it is. But I definitely could see them doing it. Maybe not to prevent leaks, but maybe to do what like all the other games are doing and do what is it? That pre-order thing. If you pre-order the highest edition, you get access a week earlier or something like
Yeah.
that. I could definitely see them doing that. Maybe that's what they're hinting at, or maybe that's what the rumor is mostly about. Because that's the one that makes more sense. Obviously, more people are gonna buy the digital version to get access a week earlier if if necessary. And yeah, obviously the physical purists will still wait it out, but people want their hands on GTA.
Yep.
So they will definitely get the digital version if they can get it earlier than everybody else. And that's me included. But yeah, no, I think that's most likely what the case is, and I don't think it's gonna be a case of like, oh, you can get it now, and then like maybe a month later you could get it physically. Like, I don't think that's it. Like that would be crazy. Um, but yeah, so and also too, because like maybe it could be a sign of Take Two trying something out, basically to test the waters on a new format, because we already know that digital or physical is slowly going away. That's just an inevitability. Everything's going to be digital whether we like it or not. And I know that's a hard pill for some people to swallow, but it's going to happen. And I think this could be kind of like the testing grounds for not just Take Two, but for gaming in general, cuz I feel like Rockstar and Take Two with Grand Theft Auto specifically, they use that as like kind of like the standard bearer for what is okay and tolerant. Because if GTA can get away with it, maybe not necessarily every game can get away with it, but it shows that it's possible
Yeah.
and that it's something that other developers can think about. So maybe this is kind of their way to push that digital future a little bit faster. Um, but who knows? We'll have to wait and find out. But if the leakers track record is anything to go by, then this is most likely gonna happen.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, either way, I'm with you. I'm probably gonna get it digital anyway. I get most of my games digital. I mostly because like I'll get two copies of it. Me and my wife can game share. So it just
Exactly.
it just makes sense for me to get it digital. If I buy a physical, I get just the one copy, and then only one of us can play it at one time. So it's like, although I'm pretty sure she's not gonna play. My wife's probably not gonna play GTA 6, but still, I get two copies of every game I get.
Yeah, why not? Yeah. I think um yeah, that's a lot of people don't have that mindset. They're still kind of stuck in that physical is better because I get something tangible and stuff like that. But then I'm thinking about it from a logical perspective. Like, yeah, physical is cool. Like it brings people back to when they were kids and when they, standing in line at GameStop to hold it in your hand. Trust me, I get nostalgia for that too. Like I loved getting games physically, going to the store, reading the back of the case on the way home to like get yourself hyped up. Like I get that. But logically, it's literally just a plastic box that's going to sit on your shelf and you're never going to look at it again. So you just want the physical thing just because that's what you've always done and that's what you remember doing and that's what you want to stick to doing. And I get that, but let's be honest, it doesn't make logical sense.
Yeah.
You're being more you're doing more harm to the environment that way. Let's be real. Like having excess plastic just being wasted for nothing other than holding a disc that usually doesn't even hold the whole game anyway. So
Exactly.
so it's like, what are you really doing at that point? And I
I
know
love
collectors, they like to hold it in the shelf and stuff like that. That's fine. If you want to do that, fine. But that's what collector's editions are for. The standard edition, nobody cares about that.
what I find funny is the argument that like what if there's no more internet,
Oh,
then
yeah.
you can't play your games. I'm sorry, sir. If there's no more internet, we have bigger things to worry about than a physical copy of GTA 6 or my digital copy of GTA 6. There's bigger problems going on in the world.
Thank you. I've had that argument so many times where people are just like, what if Sony and Xbox just shut down their services and you don't have access to them anymore? If Sony and Xbox completely shut down their gaming services without warning, just completely just shut down, that's gonna collapse the whole industry altogether. And I'm not gonna be worried about, oh, can I play my games? I'm be worried about what's gonna happen to like the financial aspect of gaming in general. Because where are you gonna buy these games now? I guess PC, but it's like now you have a void that needs to be filled, and people are gonna scramble to try and figure it out. Like, okay, where do I go? There's a lot that's gonna happen if that happens, and they're not thinking about that. They're thinking about, oh, but I get my games. Like, no, I'm not cared about my games. I'm cared about gaming in general. Like that's gonna die if that happens. So, yeah, and then some people say, "Oh, but what about if you don't have internet?" Like, if I don't have internet, then I got bigger problems, bro. Like, what if there's a nuclear fallout? Like, what are you gonna play? Like, I'm not worried about what I'm gonna play.
They're not even gonna have the electricity to play their physical
Exactly. I'm
games.
worried about surviving. I don't care what video games I want to play. Or like,
Yeah.
or worse, like what some people say, like movies, because that's another conversation, like with digital and physical movies. I'm just like, no, I don't care about that stuff. Like, I've always had the mindset that like entertainment media does not matter. Like, it sounds weird to say, but like in the grand scheme of things, I enjoy those, obviously. But like my consumption of it is not like, or the way I consume it is not important to me. As long as I can consume it, I'm fine with it. That's why I'm fine going all digital for games. I'm fine going all digital for movies and TV shows and streaming and all that stuff, because I get to still experience it regardless. And that's what I value most. I don't care about ownership. I know people, they're going to blow a gasket hearing that, but I don't care about ownership of entertainment media because that's not important to me. Yes,
Yeah.
I get entertainment from it, but that's like, I don't care. If it went away, I don't care. I'll find something else. Like, that's just how it works. It's entertainment. It shouldn't be that important to you, but people like treat it like life or death. I gotta have my physical, or else it's my life is over. Like, no, relax. It's not that serious.
So true how they act, but you know, it is what it is. Everybody will have their preference, and that's
Yeah,
fine.
and exactly. That's the thing too. They think that just because I prefer digital means that they shouldn't have physical. That's fine. You can have physical all you want, but that it's going away. That's just the reality of it. And I'm trying to basically kind of prepare them, because they're going to be the ones that are suffering more than I am. But whatever. That was a little rant.
It's okay. We love those.
Yes.
And that was the end of the news. We're done. That's it.
All right. Yeah, we were talking before. We do this all the time. We say, "Oh, it's not enough news." And look at that. We're already hitting an hour.
There we
But
go.
all right. If remember, if you're watching us on YouTube, you can like, comment, and subscribe. If you're listening to us on a podcasting app, you can share us and rate us and do all that nice stuff to get us into more people's earballs. If you look in the description, you can see some of our sponsors, which is NordVPN and W Energy. Save some money off of subscriptions and services and products and all that nice stuff, and they'll give a little kickback to us, and we'll thank them and we'll thank you. That's it. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Later.
Perfect.